Today, instead of talking about one specific game, I want to give an overview of one company, Free League Publishing, Fria Ligan, a company from Sweden with around 10 RPGs published so far. Most of their RPGs use the Year Zero engine. It was developed in the RPG Mutant Year Zero, a post-apocalyptic game where you play different kinds of mutants. In one expansion, for instance, you can play animals in a national park. The Year Zero engine is a rules light system. There are 4 attributes, 12 skills, 3 skills per attribute, and you roll a number of d6 equal to the sum of your relevant attribute and skill when you want to do something. Looking for 6s. 1 is enough to succeed a basic task, but sometimes you may need more than 1 success. Another important aspect of the Year Zero engine is that there's an emphasis on the story of your character. You're asked to develop your character's motivation, his or her relationships with other player characters. There's also a lack of hit points, even though there can be combat. When you would suffer harm, you receive conditions, which can also be used in the roleplay and have some mechanical elements attached to them. Many of their games with this engine revolve around exploration or solving mysteries, but there's also an aspect focusing on your character's story. So, for instance, in Mutant Year Zero, you build an arc. Other games will have variation of this element. So let's quickly look at other games with this engine. There's Forbidden Lands, a fantasy X-crawling game. You use the map to explore, and there's also a base building aspect. If you want a classic fantasy setting but you're tired of Dungeons and Dragons and these types of system, it's a great option. There's Vaesen, a recent one. I bought the book recently. It's beautiful. It's about Scandinavian folklore. You're playing in a mythic Scandinavia in a undefined time, but around the 19th century. And you try to solve mysteries relating to Vaesen, the creatures of Scandinavia that are upset by industrialization. There's the Alien RPG. What's unique about the Alien RPG is that there are 2 game modes. You can play a campaign with space marines or space truckers, but you can also use the cinematic mode to do one-shots or an adventure over 2 or 3 sessions with predefined characters. And these characters have hidden agendas for each act of the adventure. The goal is really to jump in the action, and you have to expect that some or all the characters will die. You will simply take another one and continue. They have another sci-fi RPG, Coriolis. They refer to it as a Arabian Nights in space. There's a lot of mysticism and a Middle Eastern flavor. You play characters in a future where humans have discovered the equivalent of stargates, and you explore this network of systems linked by these gates. Last but not least, there's Tale from the Loop, inspired by the art of a Swedish artist. You play kids in the 80s with the retro feel, but with also like weird advanced technology, robots, time travel, and you try to solve mysteries while also acting out the life of a regular kid. There will be a new Year Zero game soon, Twilight 2000. It was on Kickstarter recently. I played the old game in the early 90s. It was really crunchy, so I can't wait to see how they will adapt the Year Zero engine to let people play with their toys, weapons, and vehicles. It's a World War III setting. Fria Ligan also published games using other rules. There's Morkborg, a metal punk horror fantasy. I don't know what to call it, but look at the book. It's a piece of art. It's decadent and amazing. There's also Simbarum, another fantasy RPG. It's also relatively rules light, but I think they purchased the rights. It was published by someone else originally, so it uses another system. It's a really grim setting. The art is also unique and inspiring. And finally, the One Ring RPG, published some years ago by another company. Fria Ligan just obtained the rights, and they will do a new version soon with the same creator. So that's an overview of their games catalog, but you're not even limited to these games. You can create your own games with the Year Zero engine. There's a OGL license, and there's the Fria Ligan workshop, where they provide models, templates, so that you can create your own content for their games, and then you can sell them on Drive-Thru RPG. If you've never played a Fria Ligan game, do yourself a favor, grab one of their products. The quality is amazing. Art, rules, lore, everything is top notch. You'll play one game and you won't look back.